Hey, what's going on, guys? It's certainly been a little while since we've taken a look at any Gundam Converge sets here on the channel, but we're going to pick it up here with set number 27 for today's video. And we've got some real bangers in this set, including the GQuuuuuuux Gundam, the Zaku II High Mobility type. There in the background, you got both versions of the Gelgoog Cannon, J.Ridden's custom version, and then the standard Gelgoog Cannon there. We've got the Gundam Sandrock there, and the Seed Freedom version of the ZakuAurelius there. So that'll be really interesting to see the details on a lot of these, actually. And the GQuuuuuuux there specifically is the Omega Psychomu version, just to make that clear for you guys. But this is going to be just your standard box of 10, and so we're going to have some doubles in here. I will not be sad at all if we have doubles of the Gelgoog. I mean, we already know there's going to be two different versions of the Gelgoog Cannon there, but if we get more than just those two, yeah, I certainly wouldn't mind it one bit. But let's see what we got in here. All right, so not bad at all. Looks like we've got two of the J.Ridden's Gelgoog Cannon there, one of the standard type, one of the Sandrock, two of the Zaku II High Mobility type, which is awesome too, because that means one could custom paint into an alternate color scheme, which is nice. Two of the GQuuuuuuux and then two of the Seed Freedom ZakuAurelius. Really cool. As always, then we're going to go in number order, starting off with number 303. Here is the Omega Psychomu GQuuuuuuux. It looks like we've got the Beam Saber, and sometimes we get options. Looks like we're going to have the Heat Hawk there as our optional weapon, and maybe no rifle with this one. I think there was another GQuuuuuuux though, Converge figure that did come with a rifle maybe, or we might have it in here, we'll see. The backside does have some more information about the unit, and the rest of the lineup is pictured here as well. Let's go ahead and pop the top on this one here, and inside I would assume, yep, there it is. We've got our chewing gum in there as well. And it looks like the mobile suit's body there, the base plate, the V-fin, the beam saber there in clear green looks pretty nice, the Heat Hawk, and then a little stand piece there for the foot. So no rifle, it looks like. Okay, and then all put together, here is how it looks. For such a funky design, I think it certainly definitely looks still very funky here in the Converge proportions. I ended up going with the clear green part there for the beam saber compared to the Heat Hawk, both of which have the hand molded together with the weapon, so you're just going to swap that entirely. The Heat Hawk is cool, but I just thought that clear green of the beam saber effect part just looks really, really cool there. We've got some nice pre-painting on here for the little bits of orange. The eyes are going to be there in clear green, little bits of white on the V-fin there, the silver for like the camera bits there and the head. And as usual for these, they're not really meant to be articulated figures, but we do have some articulation, like you can adjust the angle of the backpack parts there. You can adjust the arm rotation here slightly. It's kind of interfering with the collar piece there, maybe? No, it's just kind of a little bit tight. But you can raise the arm like that a little bit if you wanted to. The other hand, we just only have this open hand there. Would have been nice to maybe have a closed fist instead of just this open resting hand there. But up underneath the feet, you can see we got detail there. And then unfortunately we have to use this like clear connection part there for the foot. I don't really like when they use that. Some of them do, especially if they have like very small or like oddly shaped feet. But I'll say the colors and the designs and everything looks pretty good. You obviously have a lot of little details that are missing in terms of colors just because it's a very colorful mobile suit design. So it's certainly far from color accurate. You could definitely do a little bit of detail painting to help that a little bit. That would certainly make it look even that much better, but not bad looking at all. Let's go ahead and then move on to the ZakuAurelius. And so this is going to be number 304 in the line. I don't think that we've got any Gundams hiding inside of here, but you can see it does have the backpack and the claws. And for an option piece, it looks like, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be an option piece, but the top of the helmet there is removable and you've got the Gundam head inside. It looks like it's not going to be very colorful necessarily, but that's going to be kind of our gimmick. And I should say, not all of these have optional weapons or gimmicks or anything like that. It's certainly not guaranteed, but just sometimes they do. And it is kind of nice, especially if there are ones that you get doubles of, if there are ones that come with optional weapons, because then you can have one holding one weapon, the other one holding the other one. So you got what looks like a kind of chef hat there on it, which is actually just this part here to protect the antenna on the head, which is nice. That's pretty cool. Pretty good packaging there. Got the gum in here as well. And other than that, it's just basically the main body and the display base. You've got a couple of little bits over here, parts for the backpack, and the rest of the backpack is here separate. And let's go ahead and actually take a look at this in sections before we put it all together. So here for the head inside is actually really pretty complete, nicely detailed there. It's all in gray, but you've got the eyes still there in that metallic green, so that's going to fit down inside there. And a lot of times on these Converge mono eye designs, you're actually able to move the mono eye back and forth a little bit. This time, unfortunately, it looks like that is not going to be a movable mono eye, but of course then this helmet part is just going to fit over the top of that, but you have this clear part in there as well. I almost think that it would look nicer without the clear part, just because the clear part makes it harder to see some of the detail inside there, but it is kind of necessary, it would seem. But once that's on, it does look pretty cool. I do kind of wish the mono eye was a little bit off to the side or something, because being centered, it's just kind of not really able to be seen all that much. But again, you've got simple movement here with the arms being able to go up. In this case, it wouldn't be too bad if you wanted to do some kind of pose like that. You can also then rotate this claw part there a little bit like that, which is not too bad in terms of posability, which, like I said, is not really necessarily meant to be a feature of these. You also got some rotation here in the legs, the detail up underneath the feet there, again, looking really nice. So we'll go ahead and pop him on the base, and he's going to be just looking like that. And then the backpack here, once that's together, again, is going to be looking really nice. All that detail on there will certainly benefit from some panel lining. You can rotate these sections up and down like that, but that's going to be kind of about it. It's just going to plug straight into the back right there. And I think makes for a really nice looking kit. I'm actually really glad that we got 2 of these in the box, because this is another one that I wouldn't mind doing either like kind of like a more weathered kind of build or like a kind of custom painted one. Something that I think would look really nice if you did one custom painted in like the Jabro green kind of colors or something like that. Just obviously not something like Cannon from Gundam Seed, but I think would make for a fun custom build one for sure. But all right, number 305 then is going to be the Zaku II high mobility type, and it doesn't specify which version, but obviously this is a very Char's color scheme. So this would appear to be basically the origin version of Char's Zaku II high mobility type, I think, technically, because it's got the origin style shoulders and thigh armor and just kind of the general design of that, I believe. So we've got the Zaku machine gun there, and it looks like we are also going to have a heat hawk as well, which looks like it's got a clear yellow part for the blade too, which is pretty cool. So this one's going to be really nice, and again, really glad to have 2 of these. And another thing too is that I always really like this version of the high mobility type, just because I just think it looks really cool here in Char's colors, I guess. But all right, inside here we've got the main body, the base, the antenna there, as well as the heat hawk, as well as the bazooka too, which is awesome. All right, and the Zaku machine gun. Okay, so some really nice options. And so as I was saying before, with a lot of these, you are able to rotate the mono eye, basically pop off the cap of the head, and then you can just turn this entire part here if you wanted that to be facing a little bit off to the side there. And I will say it does look like they're using like a different color of paint for like the mono eyes. It's a more kind of shiny chrome kind of finish than just kind of the standard metallic pink that I've seen before. I feel like it catches the light a little bit nicer, so I think that looks really good. And then at least for the time being, I've gone ahead and gone with the Zaku bazooka. Really nice to have that included. Nice wide open space here on the shield to add a decal or something on there. And again, really glad to have 2 of these, because as I was saying, you could have one with the bazooka, one with the heat hawk, which again, all the weapons have the hands molded together. The clear yellow part for the heat hawk is really nice. I'm not sure if I've seen that before. Probably have, I just don't remember, but it does look really nice. And then the third option of the Zaku machine gun here. And yeah, definitely I can just tell like from like the weapon design and just like the rest of the design of the mobile suit, it is meant to be the origin version of the high mobility type Zaku II. You can see up underneath the feet. And just because of the design with this one, definitely a lot of nice details that could really use some panel lining in there just to bring out all those nice like piping details around here on the leg. You got the high mobility type backpack there on the back in that dark gunmetal. And this one's just looking really, really good. But yeah, it certainly would benefit from a little bit of panel lining, and some like a couple of tiny little decals on there would help a lot. That looks really good though. Up next then, before we get to our Gelgoog cannons, is going to be the Gundam Sandrock for our Gundam Wing entry into this set. It looks like this one's not going to have any particular gimmick of alternate weapons or anything like that. I believe if it was the Sandrock Kai, that would mean that it comes with like the Uzi, which would have been cool, but I think that might be a separate Converge figure. Again, I'm not too sure just off the top of my head. I'd have to look and check, but this one is definitely looking pretty cool with the double scythes. It looks like those are maybe going to be in silver. Let's go ahead and see here, popping that out. All right, a couple of interesting things here. You've got the main body and the display base. The V-fin is there separate, the shield as well, and then the scythes, and then the hands. So the hands are not molded together with the scythes. I think that's just because they didn't want the hands to be in the same color. The hands are in that dark gunmetal color, and the scythe handles are in that light gray. And the scythe blades are in that nice plated silver, which look pretty cool. Aha, and then putting this together, I realized the gimmick and another reason why the hands were in there separate, the hands for holding the scythes, because you have the option of not holding the scythes. They can actually connect into the backpack here as well. And that hard point right there is actually for attaching the shield onto the backpack too, if you wanted to have your cool like snake head shaped shield, which could definitely benefit from like painting in like the little snake eyes there on that, but that can attach onto the center of the backpack. And then you've got a nice set of just closed fists. If you wanted to just display it like this with everything kind of mounted on the backpack and just the closed fists on there, I think that does look really cool. Again, some nice panel line details around on this. The eyes, once again, molded in clear green there and a little bit of metallic green up there for like the head camera as well. A really good looking sculpt on this one, I think. That said, of course, if you wanted the shield on the arm and the scythes in hand, you'll have to do a little bit of swapping out here. And yeah, I don't know, I think I might just kind of split the difference and go for just one scythe in the hand and the other one there on the backpack. I think that looks pretty good there like that. I mean, you could obviously go for the double scythes if that's the look that you prefer, but I'm happy with that. I think that looks pretty cool. And that brings us then to the Gelgoogs. So here's our standard Gelgoog Cannon. We've got the standard Gelgoog rifle there in hand. Missile pod here on the side of the arm, which I believe the J.Ridden's version, yeah, does not have that. The J.Ridden's custom version only has just the standard Gelgoog like arm parts. The non-custom version is the one that actually has the additional armaments there on the side of the arms, interestingly enough. A little bit different head too. J.Ridden's custom has like the standard Gelgoog head, so you can see that they both share the cannon backpack and like most of the body, but the arms and the head are going to be different there. It looks like we have different rifles here as well. It's kind of hard to tell from the pictures. I think it's maybe the same rifle, just the angle is slightly different. We'll see obviously here once we open the box. The standard Gelgoog Cannon here will be first, and in this case you can see here we've got the main body, the display base, the rifle, and the backpack here. And then here it is put together. There you can see, in this case, the mono eye is not going to rotate, but again, that different color of metallic pink used for both the mono eye and then metallic red for the head camera do really shine nicely. I do like that. The cannon on the back, interestingly, cannot move. You can't adjust the angle of that. It's just fixed, and mine's a little bit bent, a little bit warped there. I need to kind of straighten that out. And here's how the rifle is going to look. The Gelgoog rifle there, looking a little plain, just kind of all in this same dark gunmetal. I wish they would have went with like a different shade of gray there for that. And also wish that this would have been the type that has the grenade launcher on the bottom of it as well. Would have been nice, but still love the design of this. A lot of really nice detail on here. This is going to look really good custom painted for sure, or at least just detailed up with some panel lining and maybe a little bit of weathering, a couple of decals on there as well. It's going to look really, really cool. Mine got a little bit of a paint defect here on the top of the shoulder there as well. It's not too big a deal. All the more reason to custom paint this, actually, to be honest. That, and yeah, I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of the dark gunmetal used for this one. I think it maybe works okay for the backpack, but not really a huge fan of that for like the hands and these parts on the side of the arm and like I said, the beam rifle and all that. Don't know if these parts on the side of the arm are removable, if you could exchange those. I don't know, let's see once we take a look at the J.Ridden's version if those are maybe swappable parts. It doesn't look like it based on the front. It just looks like there's no hard point there on the side of the arm, so it's just going to basically be different arm parts, and as I said, different head, but mostly other than that should be just about the same. So let's go ahead and see here. So we've got the body, the stand, the rifle, which does look to be the same, I think. Yep, looks the same. Our little bit there for the antenna and the backpack. All right, so a couple interesting things here. This one does have decals pre-printed on there for you, the 010 and then the Xeon logo there in yellow on the shoulder. Also, because this has a different type of head, this one does have a movable mono eye, whereas the other one did not. So you are able to kind of set that off to the side there a little bit, and then just be careful with the antenna on the head, but that's how that's going to look once that's all closed up. And one thing that I will say is I know the heads are different design. I feel like they did the standard Gelgoog Cannon a little bit dirty though. I don't know why they made the head quite that narrow. I think it looks good in this kind of like wider squished proportions there of the standard head for the cannon type. It just seems like a little too narrow. It kind of looks okay from an angle, but like straight on it looks a bit odd, I feel like. Otherwise though, like I said, the rifle is going to be the same, the backpack's going to be the same, the cannon is fortunately not bent on this one, and otherwise it is just looking really nice. You just have this simple closed fist, that's the same on both of them there, and yeah, no hard points on the side of the arms if you wanted to swap those armament parts. So up on the underside of the feet, again, full detail there. And on the base, I mean, I think he's looking really good. This is certainly a great set for some mono-eye lovers, that's for sure. So yeah, between the high mobility type Zaku II, the Gelgoog Cannon, the J.Ridden's type Gelgoog Cannon, and the Zaku, you've got 4 different mono-eye mobile suits. And then you've got the lead mobile suit representation there with the GQuuuuuuux, as well as one of the team of lead mobile suits there with the Sandrock as well. So you got kind of a nice mix, and that's usually the case with these sets. You'll usually have like a couple of lead Gundams and then a couple of enemy mobile suits, like antagonist mobile suits, and then like a grunt or two in there as well. So these sets are good about kind of mixing it up like that. And this is certainly a set that I think has a lot of great stuff in here. Another thing to note too is that the quality control seems good on this set. I mentioned that small defect in the paint on the shoulder of the Gelgoog Cannon, but other than that, I'm not really noticing anything in terms of like deformations in the plastic, any like pervasive mold lines on the plastic on any of these necessarily. There's a little bit on like the Zaku's forearm, it looks like, but not a whole lot. And then like the painting and everything looks pretty good on these. So I think the quality control, it, you know, can be, I don't want to say hit or miss, but it's certainly better in some sets than others. It has been my experience, at least for my set here. Everything seems good, so really happy with this one. Let me know in the comments which one's your guys' favorite from this set. I think I gotta go with the Zaku II. Just love that. Even though I love the Gelgoog, I think probably more as a mobile suit, the Converge Zaku II here, I mean, just looks so good. It always does, but I mean, I do love those Gelgoogs as well. And the other mobile suits in here are nice too. Actually really surprised at how good the Zaku looks in these Converge proportions. I think it looks really cool. But yeah, let me know your guys' favorites in the comments. I do have set 28 that I'll be taking a look at actually pretty soon here as well. So make sure that you're subscribed if you want to check that video out as well, so you don't miss that. If you enjoyed the video here today, make sure to leave a like as well. I really appreciate your guys' support. Thank you so much. And I'll see y'all later. Bye guys.